Comics here. Very good to see everybody. And we've got here John's Comics with Kids. How are we doing, John?
Doing great. It's New Comic Book Day, man. Best day of the week.
It is. Best day of the week. Other than Saturday or Friday afternoon.
Yeah, it's my favorite day because I get the day off and I get to order pizza or Chinese food and read comics all day. So it's my favorite day off. Yeah.
What's the record behind you? I recognize it.
Tonight, it's Converge Jane Doe.
Jane Doe.
The band is called Converge. The album's called Jane Doe. The vocalist also does the art for all the covers. This is the 180-gram reissue, which sold out right away. So it's worth a little bit of money. But the thing is, they've repressed that album many, many times because it constantly sells out. There's many different varieties of that. And they also released like a live version where one of my Facebook friends did the cover of this one, physical interpretation of it with beads and stuff. And she actually has a fashion show this weekend in New York, some big thing going on. But yeah, pretty awesome. Good album if you like some kind of like 90s hardcore mixed with a lot of different genres. But it's just interesting stuff and what I like. But that's what I got tonight.
Nice. Well, all right. So, pretty much what it is. We've got a few people in the chat here. If you want to, I guess I could shout out the chat.
Yeah, shout them out.
Shot. I did it last night, so I'm not a total spaz. Rick Marquez, good to have you here. Here we go. Mortal Biggie Shack, always good to have you here. John from John's Comics Kids, of course. Chris Barrett, always good. The Old Wolf 65, very good. Misexplained is here. Who else we got here? JP's Budget Collecting, how are you? Very good. Yep, I'm late again. Sorry. We actually do a 9:05 start time. I think today I forgot to do the 05, but I usually like a 9:05. 5-minute window just to kind of gives me a little leeway. A lot of other stuff going on. Poor Mike, hello. And we have our good friend Chad as being the producer. Comic-Core Chad being the producer right now in the background, so I don't have to worry about too much of that. He'll put stuff out there, whatever you want to do. He'll be the director or producer, I should say. So, John, how we doing? You want to go over what you're reading?
I think you're on mute, buddy. Is he on mute, or did something mess up?
Sorry, I'm on mute. Yeah.
Okay.
Start that again.
We're the Unlimited
I
Show.
messed up. I thought I messed up.
We like talking about what we picked up, what we read. I will say, in general, I'm going to be a bit of the I'm going to steal Alex's anti-joy equation tonight. I did not enjoy
Les Miserables himself.
Yeah, I mean,
incarnate.
He's rubbing off on me a little, baby, but yeah, I've been infected by the Alex symbiote. I did not enjoy a lot of the books that came out this
John's Comics and Dumpsters.
Yeah, could be. So I'm going to run through a few things that I might not longer have on my
Oh man,
1 month from now.
Preach, brother, preach.
I'm saying. I'm going to start with the one that's probably going to upset TJ the Slab Dragon most, and hopefully he's not in the chat. So
I know.
This was not a good issue.
Oh, I didn't like it.
This was a bad issue of this run.
Why?
It was boring. It kind of skipped all around. There's some random guy with a pencil mustache wearing a Daredevil suit now.
Yeah, that's been like throughout the Daredevil series. He's been spotted. There's copycats everywhere, but this one got caught.
There's a lot of time spent with that guy, like that one random pencil mustache dude. I just was bored to tears. I was like, when is something going to happen? Even when Spidey showed up, it was like, it felt like in some ways it was more of a Spidey issue than a Daredevil issue.
Yeah, there's more Daredevil in it.
He did do a great Spidey run. So
that'd be awesome. Yeah.
So I just was kind of just bored with it. I was at the end. I was thinking like, maybe I'm done. Maybe I'm good with this. I feel like I read the best stuff and I can move on.
Yeah, it's like nothing really happened in the issue.
Yes, definitely. Like a lot of the books I picked up this week, not a whole lot was happening in these issues.
TJ has made it here.
TJ's here. So good. I'm done. I'm not going to talk about that book. That book again. I'm going to move on. And I'm watching John. He's got an angry face.
He says he's watching you.
Yeah, I know.
Bad face.
This is the worst issue, I think, in the Powers and House run. Now, that is not dangerously bad praise, considering the run has been phenomenal and amazing. And the last 2 issues of House of X 3 and 4, I think, are the best issues that they've done in this whole run. House of X 3 and 4 are phenomenal books, like absolutely amazing. And this just felt like the ultimate, like, boring letdown to follow that.
How many issues is Powers going?
They're each going 7.
They're each going 6, which means there's 4 issues left, 2 Powers and 2 House issues left.
This is a typical Jonathan Hickman middle of a series dud.
Nah, I mean, they had to bring back Sinister to explain why there's like all these copycats. So it was a necessary thing to get Sinister back into it, but it also had those Sinister facts, which brought out other little points that we are definitely going to see later. For instance, he brought out like, God, man, I wish I could remember. Oh, he had all those Sinister facts. Oh, he said that
there was that little like
Sinister that knows about the plan. Yeah, he said there's a Sinister that knew about the plan besides the one that agreed to it behind the scenes. So that guy's waiting and like lurking in the background, waiting to betray them all. So we know that's happening. He talks about Wanda the Pretender again. So something else still going there. We're still waiting for more explanation. So a little more clues are being dropped in. And it was definitely more of a levity issue, lighter for sure. Man, those last 2 issues you can't beat.
Yeah, before we went live, you and I were talking about the whole Mr. Sinister's chunk, which like is right at the beginning. Xavier and Magneto go and visit him, and there's definitely some funny bits in there. The fact that like Mr. Sinister's just getting killed left and right, like just like kill that one and then kill this one. It's silly. It's funny.
Silly. Yeah, it's silly.
It just didn't amount to anything for me. I was becoming bored with it the longer it went on.
I just really love the Phalanx kind of thing, the X-Men 1000, because I want to know what their end game is, what their big plan of all this is, the reasoning for everything. And finally, we're slowly getting some answers at the end of all these Powers of 10 issues. And so now we see that it looks like the Phalanx accepted them. And what does that mean? What's going to happen next? So,
and I would argue with Comic Den that House is all action and Powers is making sense of things, because I firmly believe House didn't finally have action until very recently. And this issue of Powers, for me, made sense of nothing. Like there were several moments in this issue where I was like, I don't even understand what's happening right now. Like, who are these people? I feel like I need to go back and reread all of Powers of 10 up to now and make sure, like, wait, who is this guy? What's happening with this? I don't even understand this.
I thought it was cool how he brought back Cypher. I did a flashback to Cypher and brought him to the planet.
Yeah.
And Professor Xavier told him his big plan for the planet and what it means, how to like learn to translate and transcribe and make another language for the mutants so they can kind of easily transcribe.
But then Cypher's a mutant that I've never heard of before. So for me, I'm like, I don't know this Cypher guy.
Yeah,
like,
it's been a while.
But I don't know him.
There was talk about it today, and when I was there at the shop for a while, and the consensus on Powers of X, it was the necessary issue to let's go back and let's recap what we're doing here. You know, they think he thought the guy who was really down on it like you were, he thought it was just a mishmash. That's what he called it. He called it salad. He called it, it's like as many different storylines you could put in a blender you could, and have someone try to tell you a story afterwards. Try to deconstruct that.
Yeah.
But it's a build-up. It's a build-up. So
right.
Well, that's the thing. I've enjoyed it well enough the other Powers issues. This one for me was I felt like after the last 2 issues of House, I was like running. This is amazing.
Yeah.
I just hit a wall. I just like
it still had some things that were necessary, but it was definitely lighter, less drama, less action. I almost felt less important because of how strong those past 2 issues were.
Maybe,
but that could be it. But man, I'm still in it for the long run.
I'm definitely in. I mean, it's been amazing. It was just for me. It was very clearly the worst one I've read in the run. It just felt like a little more scatterbrained, or maybe I was scatterbrained reading it. I mean, clearly, it's common to all the things I read.
Oh, keep it coming. Keep them coming.
This is the last issue I'm getting of Invisible Woman.
Oh, I didn't read it yet.
hang on.
I can't believe they took away what I liked about it, which was I liked Black Widow and the Invisible Woman together as a spy team.
Totally.
Black Widow's not even.
Oh, that's a letdown.
They just took her out, and it became this whole other thing. I was like, wait. I wanted the Black Widow, the like girl power femme spies thing. That's what I wanted. So I was very disappointed.
What the hell was this one about then?
It had to do with her the wife of her old partner, like, and trying to protect the wife.
Okay.
The wife might be in danger, and she goes there, and there's several like plot twists about the wife because Sue didn't know that there was a wife to begin with. And then Sue has to go undercover at this big gala where she's dressed in the fancy dress, and there are some cool ideas for her powers where that they tinker with the idea that she could change her skin or hair color by changing the molecules like right along the edges of her skin and hair. She talks about it giving her a horrible migraine, like it's one of the most painful things she has to do, very concentrated kind of thing. But she's doing it. She can like change her appearance, which is like a cool super spy move. So I dug that.
Yeah.
But then they finally bring the old buddy partner back.
Yeah.
And like I don't know,
traitor. We know he's gonna be the traitor.
I don't know where that plot's gonna go with him.
We're just waiting for that shoe to drop. We know he's gonna be the bad guy, and she's gonna have to shoot him or something.
That's kind of what they're hinting at. So I don't know where this is going, but for me, I think that I wanted this cover first of all. So I'm like, okay, I'm good with my cover buy. I think now it might be the time to just pull the plug on that one.
I feel you. Is the art still solid inside?
I felt like there were several gaffes in the art.
Really?
Where like I couldn't understand the action between panels. Like there was the way they photographed it, or the way she drew it, like it just, or the way he drew it. I think it's a he. Mark Waid and Mattia De Ilus.
Okay,
I don't know. That guy.
I really like the first two first two issues.
Yeah, so it was a little uneven for me. So yeah. And speaking of uneven, Catwoman. Love the cover. I've enjoyed the run, but this last two issues, Joelle Jones has done nothing on these issues, and I think they're suffering for it. So Mirka Andolfo and somebody named V. Like, is there seriously an artist with or a writer with just a letter for a name? So V.
Nice.
Not enjoyed this issue. In fact, there were several sequences that I thought were confusing when it could have been really cool the way she takes out all these assassins that were sent to kill her by the Creel family. It could have been very exciting. And no, it just kind of falls apart. They do a great recreation of the Batman Year One moment when Batman bursts in on the rich family and says, "Your feasting on Gotham is over." That moment, they recreate it where she bursts through the window, there's smoke, and she's like, "Your feast is over." It's really cool.
Wow.
But it's like the only moment worth note in the entire thing for me.
Gotta love that cover though, man.
It is gorgeous, and I'm happy to have bought it. I might just wait, and if they bring Joelle back like they're saying they're going to do for cover, interior, and story, I might come back again.
Yeah, I feel you.
So that's that one. That leaves two left. I'm going to save the bright spot for last. Venom.
Yeah.
Issue 18. I got the Immortal variant. It actually looked a lot cooler in person. I was like, yeah,
that was cool. I like that.
Yeah, I thought it came out really well.
Yeah, I'm going to
wrap
try
around,
that
right?
one.
Is it a wraparound cover?
Yeah, it's the wrapper. I can take it out if you want to see.
Yeah, thanks.
V is for a lot of things, Jason.
I wasn't asking.
Wow, Chris Barrett. So then we go.
And the Eddie Brock on the other side.
Yeah.
Cool. Exactly. I'm loving
it.
I did like I do like a few of those covers. It's a little done, if you ask me.
That's probably one of the better ones for sure.
Yeah,
it's hit or miss. It's not even depending on who the artist is, because it's facial.
So I enjoyed it. I just didn't love it. I thought it was somewhere in the middle. What's that?
Did Mayu do that cover? Or?
I have no idea. It says Curiel. It looks like Silweg or something like that.
I don't know.
I like this issue. I thought it was cool, man, especially the ending.
Okay. I don't know that name right there. I can't read it.
Yeah. So I have my glasses on. I can't see that anymore.
All right. Looks like it starts with an S. So the issue just, again, it felt like very kind of bland. I get what they were trying to do with Reed Richards, but like it felt like a Three's Company moment where, like, of course the kid and the doctor don't get along and disaster happens because they just can't communicate.
A babysitter. Yeah.
It's just a misunderstanding. Like, they're both trying to do good things, and they blow it up so bad that it's like, okay, now it's just going to make a horrible problem. Or, look, we've now connected two cool characters. We're going to make a new character.
We know, like, the Maker's evil, and we know that he's not supposed to have the kids be the first test subject, but so he actually tested on the family from one of the earlier, related Venom tie-in issues. I was going to say episodes, but Yeah, and then the guy, was like the dad from the family, he's just in torture. He's like, "Oh, it hurts so bad." He's like, "Well, he's not supposed to be awake. I don't know why he's awake," and he's just screaming. And meanwhile, the maker's like smiling while it's happening, like So he just wants to torture these kids so bad, and I don't know what his end game is for getting out all these codices, all the codexes. He apparently had a plan, but now that all the jars broke, he's now what's it called? I don't know what they're calling them. Well, I forget their name for their combined
the ultimate
form.
symbiote.
Yeah, they've had that before, and Deadpool was like that, and then the dog was like that after Deadpool, and the family was like that before. I want to say Legion, but it's not Legion; it's something else. But so now the Maker has all his symbiotes on it. That's awesome. I'm really excited for that. But I really want to see what is it that new guy, the sleeper. He almost combined with Dylan, dude. That'd have been cool.
That was the most frustrating thing about this issue was they had the last issue. It was like at the last page is like, "I'm here to help." This issue is like, "Oh, knocked over, done. That guy's not important anymore."
He's still coming. He's coming. He's in a jar. He's in a jar, stuck.
It was like what? What was the buildup? My favorite thing about the whole part of it, though, is all the people that ran out and specced on that guy's first appearance and dropped like $30 on that guy's stupid first appearance, and then they just threw him in a jar. The guy didn't even matter.
Like he's still there. I mean, he can come back, and I think he's cool. And I thought it was really cool how they brought up.
It would have been cool.
It was part of the Kree soldier, so it was a dead body inside. You know, they kept continuity going, so that was cool.
They could have totally used him in some cool way, but it was like absolutely disappointing the way that fell apart.
He's got away, man.
I don't know where this is going, but
I'm sure he'll be back.
I'm probably gonna. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna ride the Venom train. Like I'm gonna finish Absolute Carnage, and I'm interested in Venom Island, but I just don't know how much longer I'm gonna ride this train. I just don't know. And that leaves I'd say the pick of the week. But again, that's not high praise to be the pick of this week for me. King Thor, and I'm gonna.
Nice. Hell yeah.
I would have actually preferred a dad bod Thor comic, in my opinion. That would have been more my speed.
Dude, the Rivik art is amazing. It's such a great team. They're crushing it together on Conan the Barbarian. It's so good. But I expected the art to be like that all the way. What we had in Conan the Barbarian was I expected King Thor to be like that all the way. They've been playing on it forever. But instead you get these like different kind of art changes throughout. I'm like, what is this? Like pages look like they're half done by Rivik and the other half are something else. So I was disappointed by that. It was still good though.
Yeah, I was the pick of the week for me, and I'll discuss it more because it's on my channel tonight at 8:00 on my channel.
Oh hell yeah!
With this guy right here, the king of all Thors right here is joining.
And Jason Aaron's. Isn't it Jason Aaron's series I haven't read?
Yep. Awesome. So yeah, I'm not going to get into it too much, but there's definitely room for this to be something really interesting. Mm-hmm. But that's it for me. That's my books. I missed Silver Surfer Black. Like I said, my LCS, they got pushed back on their order of Silver Surfer Black, so I have to wait and hopefully get it, later in the week.
It was cool.
Well, my books this week, I'm going to go over one book in particular. I'm going to talk about the series as a whole because it's coming to an end. But one that just started, we were talking about, was the Thor. And I'm just going to describe it real simple. And the way I talk it is, this is a very Jason Aaron-esque first issue. It's very much, with exception of God of Thunder 1, of all the other Thors, it's recap. It's a recap, and literally they take things from, this one you've got stuff from a couple of other Thor issues that he's done on the most recent run, known as I'll call it the War of the Realms, pre-War of the Realms run. And you've got some stuff from the God Butcher, the God Bomb, all that stuff from the God of Thunder runs. So that's pretty much what they're going on. And let's be honest, these two brothers still don't get along after all these years. So I don't know any other. So that's that. But my pick of the week, and that's not knocking Jason on anything with there. I'm going to throw it out there as this is where I'm going to get the cover. We were just talking about these. What were they called? What are they calling these covers?
The Immortal variants.
Yeah, I'm gonna show it. I know I read them all. I just brought number 2.
Yeah, I think they're labeling them Immortal variants or the wraparound variants.
Wraparound.
Cool. I got 2 of them. There's some cool ones, man.
This is all right. So here's issue 1.
I like the Daredevil one is my favorite of the lot. I think as far as the look of the covers, I think that Daredevil one is.
Oh,
is
wait a
bad.
minute. Well, if you look at just the cover and not the wraparound part, does that count?
Yes, okay.
All right, let me see if I can find it. It's right here. I mean, I just pulled it down to do the stamp.
I like that the Daredevil one is like all the variations of his costume kind of wrapped together. You know, you get Matt Murdock by himself, you get the like black mask one, you get the yellow suit, and you get the red suit.
Yellow
That's
suit. Yeah. So this one reminds me very much of some later issue of what else he's done. Let me zoom out here.
Yeah, like so. I thought this was a cool look.
The Daredevil, good. I'll show you. But I'm going to talk about Silver Star
Awesome.
Black.
Very cool.
It's my pick of the week. Where the heck is it? I just had it right here. This is the problem. Getting ready to pack a ton of stuff up. So, literally, I was doing it when I was over here. But anyway, if anybody's been reading the whole series, you know, here's 1 through 3. I was going back and going over it. Every issue is Donny Cates, but there's this is a negative comment about Cates, where everything ends on dun dun dun. Look who I'm introducing on the last panel.
Right.
That's I mean, Cates has been around in Marvel for 18 months.
Yeah. A little more, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe more than that. Maybe 20, 22 months with the story. That's the cover right there. That's the one I'm going.
Yeah.
With Norrin Red, I once said, but the Surfer looks good. And when it's folded, it's cut right in the middle there. So that's the one I'm talking about. So this one doesn't really do that. It does, and it leads into the conclusion.
Nice.
This is a really good Norrin Red. You know, you could see, you know, what's going on with him. He's just all messed up. He's definitely the symbiote. The feeling of the Necrosword has gotten into him, and I like Tradmore's art as well. By the way, big fan. Actually, I think he's underrated.
Yeah, same. It's very cool.
I thought Tradmore. I think the entire issue, the way he draws is just classic. I mean, it's
Definitely.
70s, but good. You know, I've liked it. You know, but the
It's just so different. We don't get that anywhere else. You know what I mean? So it's like enjoy
yeah,
it. You know.
It's like Ribic. Now here's the thing: you got Ribic and Aaron, you got Dowderman and Aaron with Thors, you got Cates and
Stegman
with all the Venom and symbiote shit going on. Except for this one, which has Null in it, is all Tradmore.
Yeah.
And Guardians is who's doing Guardians?
I don't know.
I don't
Stop picking that one up.
Danny Case is doing Guardians.
No,
who's drawing
Who's
it?
doing the interior?
Yeah, I don't remember.
All right.
Anyway, so I was just going over that, and the way I can, the reason why I would say that Silver Black would be my pick of the week is because we're leading into a conclusion, and if you know what's going on, we finally got to know Galen, who you might know him by his later nomenclature, Galactus. So we get to meet Galactus before he's Galactus, and we talk about him, and I'm not going to spoil it for John because I do recommend him reading it.
I'll get it at some point. I love.
I mean, you know, he's in this box, and the story's told about why he's there and how one life is beginning, another life is ending. Whatever you do, whatever choice you make, you know, it's just the same with every action. There's an opposite and worse reaction. So whatever you choose to do, you're gonna fuck something up. You're gonna mess something up down the road. Sorry about that, but this is what you're gonna do. Those are my 2 books that I wanted to go over in particular. I have started rereading Ghost Rider, starting with Marvel Spotlight 5 on the app. Marvel Spotlight 6, I just bought a copy of recently, today for $5. I was real happy with that. In the $5 bin. Then I'm starting to read all the original Mike Flug art, the original Ghost Rider run. That's my new thing. I finished all the Doctor Stranges again. I've read them all.
Wow.
Done with that. Again, I stopped out Doctor Strange when it stops at the Marvel premiere, and when we get to 25 cents on the Silver Dagger Doctor Strange, I call it.
Yeah.
Silver Dagger run, you know. I did the one shot, the burning rights in one shot in 1988. So I did that. So now I'm working on Ghost Rider, and then just because I don't want every appearance, I just want to read the runs because I do think that I'm trying to prove a point that Moon Knight really wasn't that good of a run. It sucked. Moon
By
Knight,
suffering through it, you're going to prove that.
right? But I've been saying how much better Ghost Rider was, and how much better Conan was, and how much better of the Bronze Age. How much of these other ones were so much better of these Bronze Age superheroes, other than Moon Knight. But Moon Knight and Blade, Tomb of Dracula is a best read of all of them. And
that's what I heard you say. Yeah,
I love that read. And you kind of have to get into the characters, but the Van Helsing and the daughter and the women and the art, the Gene Colan, for crying out loud. I recommend that's the thing about Bronze Age. But this reminded me of a Bronze Age book, by the way. The Silver Surfer Black.
I can see that.
and I get that
The
feeling.
artwork reminds me of that.
Yeah,
Artwork totally reminds. It's not drawn that way because it's obviously computerized.
Mhm.
But if I could see that on actual paper, it would look very Defenders the Silver Surfer parts of Defenders. I don't want to get them out. Don't make me do it. So.
I like how I watched.
Shout out to
Watcher was in there.
TMC Comics. Yeah, that's the comment right there. No, not about the TMC. Yeah, Old Man Quill has been good. Heck yeah, love seeing that in the chat.
Yes.
You know what people
Yeah.
have said about that? They rate the number one old man, Old Man Quill. They say that.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say me because
No, Old Man Quill has beaten out Old Man Logan.
I think
Old Man
Old
Hogan,
Man Quill
brother.
is, and I'll say the last 4 issues have just been sealing the deal one after the next. Bang, bang, bang. So I can't wait to see how that run ends.
It's an amazing series. It really is.
Here's DS Comics in the chat. We've got the Comic Den, like we said. Lemire's run on Moon Knight is just about the only one I truly enjoyed. Great
I
point.
love it.
I brought that up before. The David Finch artwork, the Jeff Lemire Moon Knight. I mean, I guess you can go with the artwork on the Sienkiewicz run as being iconic, but I'm just not feeling the story of Moon Knight. I get it. It's not like I don't get it. It's not that hard to concept. It's just, again, I like Doctor Strange.
More magical things to the street level
Crazy.
stuff. Yeah.
I like a lot of weird shit.
It's way more exciting. I agree.
Yeah. I mean, it was.
I can honestly say I've never read a single run of Moon Knight. I've actually probably only ever read one individual issue of Moonlight.
Yeah.
In fact, it took me a while to realize that Mark Spector Comics wasn't actually that guy's name. At one point, I realized he's a Moon Knight fan because I didn't actually know that was Moon Knight's identity because I'm so off the range for Moon Knight. I've never taken
John,
the dive.
check out the Lemire run. Yeah.
The Lemire run is
It's
a great. We should just give a shout out when everybody talks about the great writers of today. Aaron, Cates, and everything else. The guy who I think is continuously sidestepped is Jeff Lemire. I mean, because Cates took over for Lemire on Thanos, and I was like, oh, he finally got rid of Lemire. Lemire's run in the beginning of
that was awesome.
the first 12 issues is amazing.
Yeah, it was great.
Total father-son, total FU.
Yeah.
It's great.
It was the same artist too, so it felt like the same kind of run for a bit. But then the only thing was
Shaw.
It's
all Shaw.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Smallwood also. And the
Smallwood
reason
in the beginning and the first.
Yeah, and the reason I think people got so hyped over the Donny Cates one is because you introduced Cosmic Ghost Rider, so it was like a whole new character of just immense power. So that's why people got hyped about it. And it just continued with that other creations. You had Silver Surfer Black come in there towards the end. You know what I mean? And they talk about that in the newest issue of Silver Surfer Black. He's like, yeah, there's a version of you that's has Thor's hammer. There's all kinds of different versions of you. But yeah.
Oh yeah, when they talk about that in Silver Surfer Black thing, there's even one of you holding around Mjolnir, and you're a herald of Thanos.
Totally awesome.
In one reality, you do that. Yeah, well, that's the best part. You see, obviously you read it then.
Yeah.
You have to admit this was a good book.
Oh, it was good. Yeah, for sure. I really like this conversation too with.
It is one of my favorite runs of all time. TJ, I totally get it, and I do like of the '80s runs. I understand the Sienkiewicz run. It's the best cover art in there. But of those books that I was getting at that time, I was never buying the Moon Knight. I was never really that into it because he didn't really branch out to other teams or anything else like that. I mean, a couple of crossovers here and there, but nothing crazy. I liked him when he was in Werewolf by Night because I liked Werewolf by Night. I like the horror aspect of it. When they get their own, like Blade is still cool. Like Blade is cool, and there's a couple of runs of Blade that are good. But in the 80s, I'll be honest with you, it was Simonson. Simonson was doing Thor. That's all I cared about. So
I didn't even know he was
Moon Knight was a West Coast Avenger.
I didn't even know that.
I'm pretty sure, Chris Barrett, I think you were a West Coast Avenger at one point. I'm pretty sure, Comics Misexplained, you probably were a West Coast Avenger. John is a current West Coast Avenger.
I am a West Coast Avenger, yeah.
The West Coast Avengers, the Bob Hall artwork and everything else, that's what I call the who's going to edit this piece? It's such good artwork with nothing making sense. There's a few good issues of that one. I have a lot of them. I mean, I've got pretty much the run. It does introduce one cool character. Hawkeye's wife is a badass in that. Nothing like she is. And
I'll say I've got like 4
Mockingbird is a badass.
I think I have 4 of the Sienkiewicz issues. 4 of the really. I got the one with the wolf like face and the black cover. I got the one with the like narrow slip of. It's all black except for one narrow piece in the middle, and there's a guy right behind him going to stab him. Yeah.
Yep.
I have a few. I just never wanted to touch them and fingerprint them and any of that. They just look so nice. I want to leave them in the bags.
Yeah. It's one of those the runs, and they are very hard to get in immaculate great grades.
Oh yeah,
because it's the complete black covers. It kind of like it does draw the pre-code horror aspects. I see DS Comics is in the house, so the Bill Sienkiewicz Moon Knights are what they are. I actually think Bill Sienkiewicz's best work isn't Moon Knight. I hate to burst your bubble, but his Elektra work I like more. But I like the way he draws.
Moon Knight's on the new Punisher team, right?
Moon Knight was a good defender. Yeah, Moon Knight when he was with the Defenders was good.
Well, he's on in the Punisher recently. Like he's on the same team with like Black Widow and the skateboard guy. Yeah.
Oh boy,
it's fun. Yeah, I love that book.
Yeah. But I did read some Moon Knights. I did like the Jeff Lemire, and I did read a lot of the David Finch stuff. The Higgins, I think, was one of the writers during the time in the 90s I enjoyed. But again, I was never a huge fan. But again, we were talking about 80s, TJ. I was talking about the Bronze Age. The better books were like literally the best writers, the best everything was in the horror genre during that time. So there's Moon Knight. West Coast Avengers. Yep, there he is with Dr. Yep. If you go show that one again. Yeah. See, that's everybody right there. There's Tigra. Look at this. There's Mockingbird in the background.
Wonder Man.
Yep. Classy group of guys. Don't mess around. What if the
Iron Lad
Coast was invaded? Well, that's not Iron Man.
Is it Iron Lad?
Yeah, it's
Sorry, Jason, we didn't even get to your reads, man. We're already like 38 minutes into the show.
I know. I've been keeping quiet.
What are your thoughts on some of the books? Did we skip anything that you read that we haven't talked about yet?
Yeah, sure, man. Like, Batman 78, Tom King's finishing up his City of Bane run, but like, there's no Bane or any destruction or anything going on at all. It's just Batman and Catwoman on a beach, and there's fixing their relationship. It shows Catwoman in a bikini, so if you like that, that's cool. But I mean, and the
water, if that was the cover.
The water scenes look awesome. Yeah, tell me more about this Catwoman. The beach scenes look awesome. The water looks fantastic. Great art as always. But the story, it's like you only have so much to finish your story. Like you only have so much to finish like your story of what you're trying to accomplish. And instead, you have another throwaway issue on a beach. Like
there it is.
Yeah, it looks so good. Great art. But story just kind of goes nowhere. They just get back together. Batman and Catwoman are a thing again, I guess. So cool. Whatever. Batman Universe #3. That's written by Tom King as well. Actually, by Bendis. My bad. And that one's been okay. It hasn't been anything too exciting. I might stop here and then wait until these 6 issues are done to read them again in full, and maybe I'll enjoy it more. I think this one they reveal Vandal Savage is like the main bad guy behind everything, and some mind control stuff going on. And so right now it's Batman and the Flash fighting dinosaurs. So it's just wacky adventure Batman.
I like what Comic Den just said here. Highlight that.
Yeah, that's all the dialogue in the whole entire issue. It's bat, cat, bat, cat, cat, bat.
Tom King's middle finger to DC.
He's I don't know, man. That's where he gets all his paychecks. So
there's a lot.
Tom Selleck, Batman,
is it Tom Selleck?
Yeah, it is. Hawaii 5-0. Tom Selleck.
Okay, I'm telling you right now. just based on that image and what you're telling me, the bikini, this might be better than a lot of the things I read this week.
Yeah, man. If you like reading about nothing, yeah, go ahead. It's great art, and then you get
a Catwoman in a bikini, and you got Batman as Tom Selleck in Magnum PI. I'm kind of in now.
Exactly.
You're selling it. You're not underselling it.
Get it, buddy. Get it. Black Hammer and Justice League is really cool. The crossover, the 3rd issue came out today, and you get kind of a little more exposition and of what's going on, and it's just really exciting. And this one, Gail, the little girl it's pretty much an older Golden Age kind of Wonder Woman, maybe Superman kind of character, stuck in a little girl body. And this one, she kind of just blasts off to the roof and goes and do her own thing. She gets confronted by Zatanna, and Zatanna transforms her back into her old self. And she's finally back into her old image, how she always wanted to be. So who knows what this is going to mean for the whole entire thing in general.
Any bikinis in that? Because that'd be really nice.
No, sorry, bro. No,
I'm saying I wouldn't mind seeing the 10 and
I did kind of go over Dark Knight Batman Who Laughs. It was a special edition re-release of it. And it kind of it was that Batman Dark Knight's tie-in. Remember how they had this one-offs of every single Dark Knight? They had the Green Lantern version, the Doomsday version, the Flash version of these evil Batmen. It's kind of like a re-release of that issue, but for the Batman Who Laughs character. And it reminded me that Superman, he was killed by given black kryptonite, and then he ripped apart his whole entire family there on base. And so they retconned that recently in one of the most recent Batman Who Laughs issue, where he was instead given kryptonite gas. I totally forgot about that black kryptonite thing had happened and how brutal and savage that was, as opposed to just dying from kryptonite gas. So that's kind of interesting. Just a little factoid. Detective Comics it finishes up this Deadshot little arc. He was fighting Deadshot and these island guys, and Batman take down Deadshot. Nothing exciting. This run is totally skippable. They have been teasing in the back of each issue this stuff that Mr. Freeze is doing. So I guess the next arc is going to be about Mr. Freeze, and I'm sure that ties into Year of the Villain somehow. I think that he's going to create a villain, Mr. Freeze's wife kind of character for some reason. So I don't know. I haven't been digging Detective Comics too much lately, but it started strong. It's kind of a shame. I mean, it's a regular adventure of Batman. I guess it's just kind of okay. It's not as good or as groundbreaking I thought as Superman run was. It just doesn't really stand that test of time, I feel. I think my sleeper hit from last week was Symbiote Spider-Man Carnage tie-in. I keep saying how awesome that was, and it's just a one-off, one-shot, one and done. Pick that up. My sleeper hit of this week is probably Riddler: Year of the Villain.
I heard somebody else say that. Yeah,
it's written by Mark Russell, and it's pretty much Lex Luthor approaches Riddler, and Riddler was kind of down because Lex Luthor didn't approach him before for the gift. All these bad guys are getting these gifts and getting new powers and things like that. And Riddler wasn't part of the plan. But in this issue, Riddler or Lex Luthor visits Riddler, and he's what's going on? And Riddler's kind of mad. He's yeah, why didn't you offer me anything? I'm the Riddler, it's my thing, and I'm famous, and I'm a super villain. And Lex Luthor just pretty much tells him he's a joke, he's he says, yeah, he's in all these years, your ambitions never changed. Or was that simply the age you stopped thinking about who you were, about what you wanted from this world? It's have you built your life around a child's idea of himself for so long that it's too late for the man to change? And it's just some really cool little advice. It's there he is. You pride yourself on being the master of riddles, but in the end, you are the only riddle that needs solving. Answer that, and everything else will follow. So at the end, Riddler, he gives up being the Riddler. I think he's going to make a change. So who knows what he's going to be, which kind of breaks my heart because how can you change a classic character? You know what I mean? So maybe it'll just be a little temporary thing until Year of the Villain is done, and then he'll revert being back to the Riddler. If it's something that's going to disrupt
the fan base, DC is excellent at that.
Right.
So
yeah. So I mean, I'm excited to see Riddler change, but at the same time, I'd rather just have a good writer for Riddler. Make good riddles, make challenging things, challenging problems. You don't have to pull a whole entire Hush animated thing and make him this weird transformation of a bad guy. You know what I mean? But just just write a good story, man. Don't make it cheesy like all these other past riddles have been. So, I mean, that's a challenge for someone. Gotham City Monsters, someone brought up in the past. I did pick up that today. Has some cool monsters in it. Frankenstein was a badass in it. He was just killing all kinds of stuff. It's a little story worth checking out. They're going to fight some kind of monster from space, apparently coming up. That just got raised. So I don't know. It's a little fun little thing. Flash was all right, dude. How about Event Leviathan? Like nothing again has happened. Big surprise. You finally hear from Batgirl. She's like, "Yeah, I'm recruited by Leviathan, and like I'm one of the only persons that's here undercover, I think." And she just rehashes all information we already know. She's like, all these organizations are taken over by Leviathan, and they're all called Leviathan now. It's like, yeah, we know. Nothing happens. The only cool thing was this really nice splash image. We know that Leviathan uses these, I guess, kind of like a teleport thing to transport you to somewhere else when people thought that it was like killing them or evaporating them, but apparently it's transporting them somewhere. And so Batman suspected this, Superman suspected this, and finally it's proven true. Superman thought he'd be fast enough to not get caught into the teleport. So it has this really, really trippy, like nice 2-page splash of him kind of like spinning, and like the dialogue is kind of spinning as well. But other than that, has no substance, like nothing's going on. But you know, it's been totally skippable. I would recommend probably picking up the last issue of Event Leviathan if you're ever going to pick it up, just to get all of the synopsis and everything given away. There's no point in buying all these over and over again for no answers.
Nope.
Yeah, there's no
presence.
Yeah, there's no special Speedball special. JD, did you pick up that Carnage or the Carnage tie-in with Ghost Rider?
I did not pick it up. I had it in my hand, and I said,
Was that the like Carnage Spirit of Vengeance or
Yeah,
something?
Spirit of Vengeance. Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of fun. It goes over.
I liked Ghost Rider. Cosmic Ghost Rider destroys the universe or whatever.
Okay.
It's kind of like that.
Shout out to Alec. He's in the chat. Hello, White Whale.
So White Whale will be on John's channel tonight.
Yeah. DS. Sometimes I mute my mic so I can talk to my kids and not have to be like on the air. So if you see my lips, sometimes I'm not necessarily speaking here. I'm sometimes speaking over there.
He's just talking under his breath how much he hates the whole.
I'm like a big league pitcher. Just every once in a while, I'll just go like this.
Yeah, I mean, I read a lot more, but do you think we should go over our next topic?
Actually, I want to ask you, what was your thoughts on Silver Surfer Black?
It's been great, man. It's been great. It's been worth picking up every single issue so far. You know what I mean? Like I haven't been let down by an issue.
The only thing I can compare this to is, without the introduction of new characters, is the last 5 issues of Thanos.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a good comparison.
Because it's very much, it's very similar in the fact that I think Donnie has a passion for writing and telling stories. There's no question about that. But I think he likes, and this is very Hickman-esque, is the short arc to get the point across and get it over with. Don't have to have so much backstory. While Jason Aaron had War of the Realms with billions of tie-ins. Now we know at the end of this year, tie-in stuff is going up. That's a beautiful cover, by the way. The cover's the last 2. I did not get that cover. I did not see that cover at my shop again. That's the Ron Lim variant there, everybody. Big fan of Ron Lim. You can tell it's Ron Lim. It's very 90s-esque.
Oh, yeah.
Cosmic and everything there, and Thanos is all muscled out and everything. I'm not big when Starlin drew him more.
It's cool seeing Thanos in that kind of form in the Thanos miniseries.
That's I mean, I was offered it today for $19. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm not in love with it. I've got that painting of Null. I can't get it now. First appearance of Null, I have the actual painting of that. But that's really, it's a cool concept cover that they're doing that, but I don't like it. I don't get it. He's not, they have him this whole tall and gangly, but everything else in the book it's much better inside than it is on that cover. But I think the storyline, though, is just what I really like about it. And did you read King Thor?
Yeah, I love King Thor. I thought it was really cool to seeing. Yeah, I mean, I guess we don't. Should we spoil the ending? I mean,
well, we're gonna spoil it in about an hour anyway on John's channel. So, ugh.
Stuff too with Jason Aaron and Donnie Cates are so tied in together. You know, they're good friends. I'm sure they have a good communication channel going back and forth to get everything kind of connected, you know, in continuity. One thing about the Absolute Carnage Symbiote of Vengeance tie-in, it takes place before Absolute Carnage event that's going on. But like, it's kind of weird because like it shouldn't, just because when Carnage takes over this girl Ghost Rider from the past that's been protecting this island for years, he eats her codex, eats the spine, and it transforms him into something different. He's like a Carnage, excuse me, he's like a Carnage Ghost Rider kind of appearance. He has like a flaming head. He's able to get like a chain fire thing going on. He has a Carnage Ghost Rider motorcycle, which is really sick. It's a lot of fun, and then of course,
they look good.
Yeah, but I mean, of course, now he doesn't have that stuff. But they do make a line that says your power is like your codex power is already like diminishing once he goes back after the issues towards the end of the issue. So I guess maybe whenever he consumes a codex, he gets certain powers, you know, for a very short period of time, and then reforms back into his regular.
I'm throwing it out
in the future.
This was going to be on a future show that I was working on, and it's a stupid concept of a show, but I want to do it anyway. Symbiotes were drawn better years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Bagley Venom symbiote. You know, that classic.
I like the symbiotes here. That you know, you got Ben. This is I found this in my New Avengers going through it, number 35. This is a who did this cover?
Yeah, nothing for me will ever be like the Bagley Venom original symbiote with all the sharp teeth and sharp detail.
Well, whether it be, yeah, good one. We went over that last week.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a soft spot for some Eric Larson. Personally.
Okay.
Oh, that's it. That book's heating up again, huh?
Read Eric Larson's, because of Venom Island, right?
Yeah.
Did you read Eric Larson's new Spider-Man issue?
I didn't. Any good?
Not really.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't.
The first story in that Spider-Man Big whatever issue was good, but yeah.
But this is a
the Deadpool one this week. Deadpool Carnage vs. Deadpool 2 wasn't very good in my opinion. It's really silly and goofy.
With the exception of Tyler Kirkman, who somehow can draw any symbiote badass.
That's cool. Yeah.
This is my favorite cover of Tyler's ever done.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, this is McFarlane. Dave Michelini, Tyler Kirkman, George Perez. The only one.
From last week was Spider-Man Big, and then there's the return of Eric Larson writing Spider-Man. And it's a little like kind of 2-page story towards the end.
Yeah.
And there's also a Ralph Macchio one before that. I think it's a 1-pager.
A different Ralph Macchio, though, right?
Yeah, it's not the Karate Kid Ralph Macchio. It's the one that was for Marvel back in the day. Yeah, and I think he used to be an editor as well. And then the first story, I forget who it's written by, but that was pretty good as well. So it's worth checking out for a one-shot Spider-Man Big. But that was from last week. You want to go over your
book? This one?
Your spec books.
This isn't spec. This is a New Avengers 35, right? It's just Wolverine. What is the other thing I wanted to add? All right, so John, let's do the next part of the show.
Yeah, so for us, we like to talk a little bit about things that we read and that we hope might spike, that we feel like have some value long term, or at least in the coming year or so. And I was holding this up because I pulled my copies of this out for our show tonight. I even posted mine on Instagram because I'm excited for the idea of returning to this island. And it seems like Donnie Cates is talking about that with Venom Island. I do think this book is underpriced, undervalued, and could be something really cool. On top of which, I freaking love this story. It's my favorite Venom stuff. So I am specking on this a little bit. I have 2 copies, one that I'm going to keep and one that I'll probably end up selling here at some point just because it's a little beat up. But if someone else can enjoy it, I think it's a worthy read. And on the same lines, I think everybody's putting a little spec on Dylan.
Oh, yeah.
I would value this book issue 9, and I'm thinking of probably selling that whole storyline at some point here.
The newest one, man. Do you think the newest one could be considered a cameo appearance of his new form?
When
Because,
they almost touch.
yeah, well, not that. At the end, Carnage was kind of antagonizing him, and then he kind of flipped out and yelled, did a Dragon Ball scream. His hair kind of like went up a little bit, or the panel did, and then like Carnage said, "There he is." So his eyes kind of went a little white. So I'm not sure if you have that on you, but it could be a little cameo in the future, and maybe his first full appearance might be in a different issue.
So at the end of this one, you mean?
Yeah.
Yep. And then JP says issue 7 is what Kate says. I don't know what issue 7 is. Is it connected to Dylan? Issue 7? This, I think you're talking about this page right here.
Yeah, right there, top left corner, right there. Right
where my finger. Dylan kind of loses his cool. You get a little bit of a
little streak there
going there.
Yeah, some little streak in the eyes or something going on. But Carnage says there he is, so I'm sure he'll pop out full eventually. It's kind of like the Jesus Venom, he's going to give a savior to everyone.
Right. Kate says the 20s is where it's going to be good. What does that mean? The Venom issue 20? We got to wait for 3 more months or whatever for that?
They've been all right. I mean, I like them all. They've all been good. I mean, I like the Cullen War of the Realm stuff in there.
Yeah, me too, man. That was fun.
Dylan appears in issue 7. CGC calls it a cameo. Kate says it's because it's his first appearance. Okay, interesting. Okay.
So I'll bring up 2 kind of obscure ones, and these are investment specs and specs in general and stuff like that. But this is something where I did some background on something here. We all know this is the first appearance of Boba Fett and Dengar and Bosk. Star Wars number 42, classic, beautiful book right here, newsstand. I will grade this, I promise. Soon.
I was going to ask you a Star Wars spec actually later on a little bit.
The one that I think that is a good spec on this is actually from this new TV series, The Mandalorian.
Yes, exactly what I was going to ask you.
Is this the book?
No, mine actually was going to involve that we know that there's a bounty hunter in The Mandalorian that looks like IG-88, but it's not IG-88. And do we know what his character name is? It has been revealed. What is his first appearance in the comics? Have we noticed like a rise in that at all?
Well, it depends on the name, because Dengar and a bunch of Mandalorians are in here, including, it looks as if that's the ship that's in the side is in here, and this is very weird. That I don't think they ever took from the storyline, but this is before this would have everything in this would have happened. So that's first appearance as a Christmas special. Yes, we know that when you write which is why that web weapon's being used. This is not a Fett appearance. This is other Mandalorians. Other Mandalorians. It's packed with other Mandalorians. It talks about the whole stuff. So anyway, I just showed this right here. Just showing that. That's one. Another one is since this whole Spider-Man, and it's a personal thing, so you got to make fun of me for it. This whole Spider-Man debacle with Sony, right? I always said a poor man's Spider-Man or Peter Parker was, John, you know this, Dick Ryder himself, Nova. Because he's the kid that was picked on, that all of a sudden got some cosmic powers, and then became a superhero. But the Marv Wolfman run was good. I liked it. I recommend people get it. I think I have the whole set. I'm pretty sure I do. But there are first appearances in there outside of number 1. Number 1 being a very high-priced book. The other first appearance is an actual pretty good villain. This is a pedigree copy, so I have to be real careful with it because it's.
I wonder why you bought that one.
Yeah, well, this is a Thor, obviously, versus another hero, Nova. I've got about 4 or 5 issues of this one, but I finally got the Western Pen pedigree. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, white pages here, let me just do this because here we go. This is how white the back is.
Woo. Wow, yeah. Nice.
Yeah. This is
got no rubs either.
I'm submitting this one real soon. I mean, this was sold to me as near mint plus mint. And I didn't pay much for. Actually, I paid probably less than $20. But I paid way less than that. I've had this one in my possession for a while, but I bought the whole run of this, as many as of these I could in Western Penn. But these are just great books. But anyway, his name is the Corruptor, and he's a pretty good character in there. Where he's kind of he predates Taskmaster. No other way around it. He's the Corruptor with a similar power. Now, I'm not saying go out and run out and go buy Nova number 4. I'm saying go read these things because they're pretty good, and I bet you that's what they're going to do. So my theory again is that if they can't do Spider-Man anymore, they could probably do a Nova movie. And a great way to introduce him would be in the next Guardians movie, and then maybe he gets a solo spinoff.
I think they're going to use Miss Marvel for that. Kamala Khan. She has, this
Guardians?
little. No, I meant for like their Spider-Man kind of replacement character. You have Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. Now she has a TV show coming up. Not a Captain Marvel, Ms. Marvel, Kamala Khan.
Well, I know.
She's like in school, young. She has like kind of, teenage friends and stuff. That whole entire thing kind of has the same kind of spirit or feel. And the same thing with comics, kind of how they work too, which is kind of little family problems and things like that. Small issues, and then she goes out and fights crime. So I feel like they kind of have a lot of similarities that could work.
TJ says he has a 9.8 in this Nova 4. This
Shocking twist.
I will say this. This is when I submit this. If I don't get a 9.8, I'll be surprised. I'm looking forward to see how high of a grade I can get.
Yeah, guys, I'm gonna jump out of here because I'm gonna set up the other show.
And I'll be on that other show.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Cool. Good for hanging out.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, one thing I wanted to announce: the highest graded Golden Age comic is still for auction. Oh, no, not to you.
Okay.
It's still for auction. It is a 9.9 double cover Captain Marvel Jr. It's out there. It was on the Comic Connect, and I'm interested to see where this goes and everything else. And it's gonna fetch a nice. It's gonna be the highest graded Golden Age comic ever. So it's kind of a historical night to see where it ends up. So, but also there is another. I don't know if you saw the Batman ones. We showed them on Golden Guys yesterday, the 8.0.
Wow.
$198,000.
Holy cow.
If you really want to go out, I recommend you get a Batman one.
Yeah.
The original just sold for $498,000. So
that's amazing.
I just want to share the Golden Age stuff because I just looked at my notes for last show. Yeah, I take notes. I do. I write notes. Tonight, there was one other book I wanted to show you about a spec, and we showed it earlier. Underrated Wolverine run. I'm going to say why this is absolutely the true Wolverine run. The Frank Miller four book shot is don't even read it, but read this in its entirety and realize this is the best art and the best writing of any Wolverine book, period. This is the best artwork. Look at some of these covers. They're all ridiculously good. This is the best series. This is the best run. This is what I recommend if you want to do that. So I don't want to do a spec. I'm not saying this is spec because I don't think you consider this specking. I'm like, if you want to add a book to your collection and add a run to your collection and you're a Wolverine fan, this is the first one you get. This will make you love Wolverine even more because this is when he really is Logan. He's on his own. I mean, there's a couple of scenes with Mr. Fix-It in there.
Nice.
But this is one of the ones I recommend. So I'm gonna just kind of throw a few things out there for you every week. What I consider underrated runs, like because the Wolverine run, I don't care what these things are going for. I know that these things are going for like a couple of $100 and 9.8s and stuff like that, but the other ones aren't. It's the entirety of the whole book itself. It's just badass.
Very cool.
So the entirety of the whole series is badass.
I'll throw one up before we bounce.
Please do,
because we gotta get off.
Hang on.
Show to do.
Hang on. Chad, do it. Go ahead. What do you want to show?
All right, yeah. We're just gonna do Spider-Man 2099. Really cheap, and I think it's only a matter of time before we're gonna see him in some movies or TV shows. You know what I mean? A live action version.
I think he
First
cameoed
version
in.
is this one.
Oh, very good. Yes, the 300th.
Yeah, some hologram 90s goodness.
Yeah,
And if you like 90s stuff, catch us on Monday. On Monday Comic Horror, we're going over 90s comics. Fun little runs.
I might have to join you on one because there's a fantastic run in the 90s that
dude, awesome.
They hold near and dear to my heart as one of the best runs in comics.
I think this next Monday, I'm going to talk about this one. Ren Stimpy, Powdered Toast Man versus Amazing Spider-Man. This is actually Dan Slott's first time writing Spider-Man. So that's a little fact. Just like a lot of fun. So pure 90s stuff. Come and join us on Mondays. And of course, every Wednesday here at Comic Con Unlimited.
Yes. Tomorrow, FYI, there is an auction. I'm not on it. I'm working on doing an auction coming up, but more selling higher-end books to other. Maybe we'll do one there. But we on White Whale's channel. I know John's Comics with Kids and DS Comics is going to be there. You're not going to want to miss some of the stuff. They are really good. Classic books. I can tell you right now, you're going to have everything from a Kirby on there. You're going to have Kirby's. You're going to have McFarlane's. You're going to have some ridiculously good Wrightsons in there. You're going to have, you just got to go. You got to check it out. Everything on this auction tomorrow, White Whale Comics. And now head over to John's Comics with Kids, where My Ugly Face is going to be on there again. And we're going to discuss nothing. John's Comics with Kids. All right. Check out him. We're going to discuss nothing but King Thor for a while. We're going to deep dive into it, and we're going to talk about all the other Aaron runs and everything else.
Yeah. We'll see you guys at John's Comics with Kids channel, like right now. So head on over there.
Nice. But good stuff here, Bear Island. Great having you here, Richard Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much. JP again, TMC Comic Book Andy, Bear Island. All right, so I'll say you again. TJ Watson, everybody. Thank you all very much for your time. Peace.
Peace.
And broadcast.